In this session of the Customer Experience Masterclass, we're going to talk about how to forecast customer service volume so that you can really maintain that customer experience even if volume goes up. It's really difficult to know exactly when spikes in volume are going to happen in customer service. And because of that, you can easily end up in a situation where the agents get really overloaded. But you have to be extremely careful to not have that happen, because if your agents are overloaded, the KPIs of your customer service process starts to go down significantly. And that's going to lead to negative reviews, negative brand experiences, decreased lifetime value, and a whole bunch of other things that are really important to avoid in your business. And so what we want to be able to help you get to is to basically be able to predict future customer service volume so that you're able to know when you need more agents and know that you're going to be able to keep that customer experience really strong. So we're going to dig into how to do that. At HelpFlow, we run 24/7 live chat and customer service teams for a ton of stores, and a forecasting process is critical for us to be able to handle that workload. So I'm going to walk you through how we do it in this session. Hey guys, this is John Tucker here from HelpFlow, and I know you're focused on how to forecast better in your customer service operation, and I've got a resource that we put together for you that we wanted to share as part of this Customer Service Masterclass. In this spreadsheet, what you're going to be able to do is basically input your metrics into the spreadsheet and then see the number of agents in the forecast that it thinks you need for that particular time period. From there, you can play with some of the agent capacity metrics, you can play with some of the handling time metrics, and you can play with the formula to create a forecast that you're confident in. But I think that this spreadsheet will give you a great starting point to implement what you're learning in the CS Masterclass. So go ahead and download the actual resource. It should be available where you're seeing this video. And again, I hope you're getting a lot of value out of the Customer Service Masterclass. Let's get back into it. So the first thing about forecasting customer service volume is you need to be able to forecast your sales. So I'm going to walk you through that particular part, but you probably already have a process for that. Then we're going to convert those sales into ticket volume, and that's going to be the key part that you probably don't have a process for yet. Once you have that ticket volume, then you can figure out how many agents you're going to need to handle that ticket volume. So that's the end result I want you to be able to get to, is to be able to forecast the number of agents you're going to need to handle the future volume that's coming in. The first piece of the puzzle here is to be able to forecast your sales. So let's say that Q4 is coming up and you need to forecast how big the holidays are going to be. Or maybe Valentine's Day is really big for your business and you're not sure if you're going to be able to handle that volume with your current team. You need to be able to forecast your sales. And again, you probably already have a process for this, but there's a couple ways to do this. Number one, if you have a revenue forecast, then that's your sales forecast, and mission accomplished. You have what you need. Another way that scaling brands do this, though, is they look at their advertising budget. They use conversion rate to then know approximately how many sales that's going to generate. So you can use your ad budget to get to a sales forecast. The last thing that you can do is maybe use your inventory plan. If you've been doing e-commerce for a while and you've been through a couple busy seasons and you know how to manage your inventory process, then you've probably already done some version of a sales forecast as part of your inventory plan. But the main thing that you need to make sure you have in place is a way to forecast sales for this future event that you're trying to forecast customer service volume for. The next piece of the puzzle is being able to forecast your ticket volume. Once you have that sales forecast, you want to be able to turn that into ticket volume. And so the first way that you do that, or the first step, is to use your transaction to ticket volume to figure out what your ratio is. I want to stop here for a second because this part's really important. You need to get to a point where you calculate your ticket ratio. And again, that is the percentage of transactions or orders that turn into tickets. Once you have that number as it stands today, you can forecast into the future based on sales to know how many tickets are going to come through. What we've seen by running customer service for so many different stores is anywhere between 20% and 50% is where that ticket ratio typically falls into. Now, I also want to point out that using some of what we're talking about in the masterclass and some of the other sessions, you can drive down that ticket ratio over time. For example, if you're at 45%, it's a little bit high. That's a lot of tickets, especially as you scale. But if you can drop that number down to 22%, 25%, somewhere around that, that's going to bring your customer service workload significantly lower. So using some of what we'll talk about in one of the other sessions on workflow will enable you to bring that ticket ratio down and enable you to not have to handle so many tickets. But for now, what I want to emphasize is forecasting your ticket ratio is the key part that's going to enable you to forecast future volume based on your sales forecasts. Once you have your ticket ratio set, then you need to figure out how many agents are going to be needed to handle that volume. The way that you do that is first, you're going to calculate agent capacity per agent. What I mean by agent capacity is the number of tickets that they can handle in any given day. We covered that in the KPI session where we set tickets per agent, we set some other agent capacity metrics, but this is the number that's gonna help you understand how to know how many agents you're gonna need for this future volume. You need to calculate agent capacity. Then you're gonna take that ticket volume that we talked about on the prior slide, and you're gonna take the number of tickets that are gonna happen in Q4 or in the summer holidays or whatever time frame you're forecasting for. You're gonna take the agent capacity the ticket capacity per agent, and then that's going to give you what you need to know how many agents you need. That is the pieces of the puzzle to be able to figure out how many agents you're going to need for any spike in volume. You got to forecast your sales for that time. You got to set your ticket ratio, and then you need to get those agents actually staffed in advance. Hey guys, this is John Tucker here from HelpFlow, and I know you're focused on how to forecast better in your customer service operation, and I've got a resource that we put together for you that we wanted to share as part of this Customer Service Masterclass. In this spreadsheet, what you're going to be able to do is basically input your metrics into the spreadsheet and then see the number of agents in the forecast that it thinks you need for that particular time period. From there, you can play with some of the agent capacity metrics, you can play with some of the handling time metrics, and you can play with the formula to create a forecast that you're confident in. But I think that this spreadsheet will give you a great starting point to implement what you're learning in the CS Masterclass. So go ahead and download the actual resource. It should be available where you're seeing this video. And again, I hope you're getting a lot of value out of the Customer Service Masterclass. Let's get back into it. So as far as a takeaway from this session, do an experiment on your end. Take your sales and see what your sales forecast is potentially going to be for the next month. Then look at your ticket volume recently compared to your ticket volume or your sales volume, and use that to set your ticket ratio. Figure out what that ticket ratio is, and that's going to help you understand if you have enough agents for this coming sales increase. One of the resources that we have as part of the Customer Experience Masterclass is a customer service forecast calculator. It's a spreadsheet that's going to enable you to take this data and calculate out how many agents you need for a specific time period. Also, if you have any questions on this process, feel free to reach out. But as far as next steps, go ahead and check your data in the help desk to see your ticket ratio so that you can start to forecast out volume into the future. I hope this has been helpful.